Hi, my name is Rebecca Zabar, and you are watching the Global TV Demand Awards Virtual Festival. I have the pleasure to be speaking with Mathilde Bresson, location-based entertainment manager for Ubisoft. Welcome, Mathilde.
Hi, Rebecca. Thanks for having me.
I'm so excited to talk with you today.
Me too.
First of all, you have what might be the coolest job in the world, location-based entertainment manager. Tell us more about what that is, what your role is at Ubisoft, and where it sort of fits into the entertainment ecosystem.
Sounds good. It's a very convoluted name, but it's actually describes a very simple reality. I'm part of a team at Ubisoft that is essentially supporting the company's diversification strategy. So essentially, its effort to go beyond the world of video games and expand into other forms of entertainment. You probably know this, but we are developing, producing, and releasing television series already based on Ubisoft's game brands. A Rabbids animated TV show is an example of that. Mythic Quest, the Apple Plus TV show, is an example of that. We're also releasing films based on our video game brands, Assassin's Creed back in 2016. More to come. And recently, we started diving into this new industry for Ubisoft. It's called location-based entertainment, which essentially it just describes any form of entertainment experience that's based on a physical location. So for us, that means theme parks, family entertainment centers, immersive exhibitions, VR rooms, arcade rooms, etc. So my role within Ubisoft is to help the company take the game brands that we've developed over the last 35 years and create entertainment experiences in the physical world that are extensions of these digital worlds. And so it's an amazing job, and it's definitely very interesting because it's at the crossroads of two industries that seem to be very different from one another, which is the physical world, the world of theme parks, and the digital one, which is the world of video games that actually have a lot more in common than we think and are getting close to each other these days. Digital companies are becoming more physical. You see Amazon opening stores, and then of course, physical companies are becoming more and more digital, online banking, retail. So being really at the crossroads of those two industries has really been interesting for me to observe and to create experiences that bridge the gap between those two worlds has been tremendous. Continues to be.
It's so cool. It's interesting, to hear you talk about that cross section of physical and digital, because I think it's sort of happening in the background for most consumers, right? Like you mentioned, a lot of digital brands that create these brick and mortar spaces. You're walking through the mall and all of a sudden there's an Amazon bookstore, for example. So these digital brands that we're used to as consumers are definitely now showing up as physical spaces in our worlds. And it's a really, innovative in the true sense of the word initiative from Ubisoft. And like you mentioned, Ubisoft has done a lot of interesting things with crossover between gaming and TV. There's also been this really interesting crossover of major shows like La Casa de Papel and Rainbow Six Siege and the South Park games. We've had conversations with Ubisoft team members before about that. So, I know that the promotion of gaming culture in general is a big priority for Ubisoft. So as you're building out the theme park for Ubisoft, what kind of things are you looking for when you're building out the partnerships that you need in order to actually make that happen?
Well, I think we start off with looking for partners in very different fields. To build a theme park, you need so many different kinds of expertise. You need people that, are investors, can invest in the concepts, people that design those parks, that are the creatives, the architects, the narrative designers, the art directors behind those. You have people that operate the theme parks that are just hiring the staff and know how to efficiently operate a space like a theme park. And so we're looking, depending on which projects and which territory and what kind of concept we want to create, we're looking to partner up with either one of these partners or all of them. And at the end of the day, what makes a great partner for us is number one, an expert in their field. Because Ubisoft is a digital company and we're very aware that this is what we do best. We're not brick and mortar. We don't know how to build spaces in the physical world. So we really lean on people that are just the best at what they do. So that's number one. We're really looking for people that we can share the same creative vision with, people that also want to create innovative concepts that respect the gaming culture and our brand's DNA, that are building quality entertainment. I think Ubisoft, it happens fairly often where we won't put out a game, we won't release it if it's not ready. I think it's a company that's very, feels strongly about releasing something that is going to be quality for the gamers and that's going to be a long-term project rather than just doing it for money. So I think Ubisoft in that sense is looking for partners that share that same commitment to quality. And then I'd say we also are looking for partners that share the same values. We have a motto here that says that we create experiences that enrich players' lives. And I do think that is the same in the physical world. Whether in a theme park or in a video game, we want to create experiences that either stimulate people or encourage them to be curious, encourage them to connect with each other. And that's, at the end of the day, that's what makes or breaks an experience is whether you, Rebecca, or me, we go through it and we feel like we had a great day and a fun experience and we connected well with our friends, our family, or this and that. And so that's really what we're looking for.
Well, that's also what I really want to know more about is how are you going to create these moments of connection for the people that are going to come and visit and experience the theme park? This idea of a playable theme park, right? Bringing in that gaming element into an actual physical theme park kind of blows my mind. So walk us through what that looks like at this stage in the project. I know it's early. And also I want to know, what makes it different from the theme parks that already exist?
Sure. Well, I think the idea of a first playable theme park is one that we've been having and massaging for a while. And ever since Ubisoft started diving into this location-based entertainment business, we've asked ourselves the question, what can we bring to this business that's different from another company? What do we have that's unique? And I think to me, it comes down to three things. Number one, intellectual properties. They're not just any IP, they're game IPs. So they're very different in the sense that a film IP is a linear experience, whereas a game is already a 3D environment. So those rich, creative 3D worlds that people spend hours and hours and hours exploring. That's number one. Number two, we have millions of gamers that connect to Ubisoft games through a platform called Ubisoft Connect. So we talk to them on a daily basis. Essentially, we track them and we're able to communicate with them, which is huge. I think Ubisoft has 140 million plus unique players, which is that audience has an appetite for more content that we're able to communicate with them and tell them to go check it out. And then finally, I think what makes Ubisoft absolutely unique in this world is that we have an expertise in engaging people, creating experiences that they want to start playing, that they feel like they can progress in, that they are rewarded in and want to keep going back to. That's what we call the science of game design. And at the end of the day, whether it's a theme park or a game, it's the same idea. It's you're building a world, whether it's digital or physical, that you want people to come into, and you want them to keep exploring this world and progress in this world and keep going back to. And so I think that expertise in engaging people in interactive experiences we can bring to the physical world. So that's really Those three things we're trying to bring into that idea of a playable theme park experience, meaning creating the first theme park that you can play. So imagine that you're going into your typical theme park environment. You're going, you're going to have the rides, you're going to have the retail, you're going to have food and beverage outlets, and
Are you going
on
to
top of
have,
that,
are you going to have the turkey legs?
you might have the turkey legs, you might have the popsicles, you might have all that.
Okay.
But then on top of that, if you're interested and if you want to engage with the space on a deeper level, you can. And we're giving you opportunities to explore the space, to score points, to fulfill missions, to go on side quests, to collect items, exchange them with other people, to progress through a game, get rewarded for it. And the idea is to memorize what you did throughout the day at the playable theme park. You get to extend this experience at home. And so that the day that you come back, the experience is different because you've passed another level, and maybe some experiences that weren't available to you in the park are becoming available, and vice versa. Maybe things that weren't available to you in the digital world are now opening up because you've continued progressing through the game in the physical world. So essentially, we're creating a world that's a game world that you can access through a physical entrance door or a digital one. And we think that's a pretty revolutionary concept in the sense that a lot of other companies have been trying to do that, and some successfully and some not necessarily, but I feel like the whole industry is going towards that. Disney with their Magic Band is going towards that as well, or Nintendo opening a land at Universal. But I don't think anyone has, to that scale and from scratch, design a complete gamified theme park experience that is also leveraging the 140 million players that we have that connect, on a platform called Ubisoft Connect. So it's truly exciting, and it is truly revolutionary in the sense that it's just the first time that someone is doing it to that scale.
Yeah, I mean, what an amazing built-in audience that you have to get excited and to hopefully bring in and be ambassadors to this idea and share their excitement with other people. Which brings me to my next question. You have this group of people who are gamers and who understand and enjoy gamification. They love the worlds that Ubisoft has created. They play within them. So what about the non-gamers? How are you approaching the design of the playable theme park to ensure that you're appealing to all types of people, not just the group of people who is familiar with the brand or who already says, I'm a video game fan and I'm going to go? How are you approaching those non-gamer type people?
It's definitely a question that we've asked ourselves since the very beginning, because one of the reasons Ubisoft is making movies, making television series, developing experiences in the physical world is not only to create new kinds of experiences for gamers, but also reach a new kind of audience that not necessarily plays games. So that's always been at the heart of our thinking. And I think it comes down to two things. Number one, what we call depth of gameplay, which is essentially giving different levels of engagement to people. So if you want to go to a theme park and you're not a gamer and you don't really want to play the game, you can. You're going to have a great experience. You're going to have great attractions, great food, great retail. It's just going to have a great day. If you're a little bit interested, you can interact with a few points of interest throughout the park, but not necessarily track your progress. If you're a little bit more than interested and you're kind of actually going with a group of friends and want to show off and score more than your friends, well, then you're going to maybe pay a little more attention. And if you're, really, really interested and want to complete the whole game, you're going to do everything. And so creating that depth of gameplay that makes sure that, those who want to play have the opportunity to do so, and those who don't want to play also can have a great experience. That's one of the ways that we're doing this. And then the second thing, which I think to me is key, is the concept of play in general. You don't have to be a gamer to enjoy playing games. We play hide and seek games when we're little. We play card games when we're older. we play word games, we play daring games when we're teenagers. So everyone, I feel like every human being has that connection to playing a game that's going to connect them with other people. And designing a concept that's really based on the idea of playing more than just video games, I think is also a way that we're gonna get, we're gonna create an experience that works for non-gamers.
I will be there.
Great, me too.
I'm probably more the non-gamer contingency, but it's so true. Humans enjoy play in general, and of course, most of our day is gamified. As you said, that I was just thinking of those notifications that pop up and the little rewards that we get when a colleague or someone shares an emoji. So there are these little,
Sure.
Kind of gamified moments of life, and it will be really interesting to see how that plays out in real life.
For sure. Well, I think that's part of how we connect with each other just as human beings. Getting the choice. You play a game is about getting choices in which cards you're going to pull out, or where you're going to hide, and depending on how well you've chosen things, you're going to get to be better or not as good as your friends. And it's just a mechanic that's always been there for human beings, and I think it's going to keep being important to us.
I think so, forever. It's kind of interesting to even think about game design and how you're incorporating that into the design of the theme park. As you're talking, I'm just thinking about, I doubt this type of game is going to have winners and losers. I guess that's probably a really basic game design mechanism. Maybe this is a little bit more like choose your own adventure. Everyone's a winner at the end.
Well, I think it's always finding the right balance between, yes, making sure that the game is accessible and rewarding for everyone, but also if everyone's a winner, it's not as exciting. So
Right.
I think it's a question, and that's really one of the things that game design addresses very well, is how do you still make sure that the winners know that they've won, and that those that haven't necessarily won the same thing still won something. So it's again, one of those things that we do really well in game design and video games that we're looking forward to adapting in the physical world.
And so tell me more about what people will actually see in the physical world at the game park when we talk about Ubisoft franchises. So, for the people who are really following, for those 140 million Ubisoft Connect users, and of course, other people that are just going to show up and enjoy and expect and have a great day, what kind of franchises are people going to see? We have a lot of people that are going to watch this and want to know. So what can people expect? And also, what are you most excited to see come to life in the theme park?
I can't really say much about what exactly is going to be there in the park. But I think what I can say easily is that we're excited to see all of these franchises come to life, because they're very different. I think Ubisoft is different from other game companies in the sense that our portfolio of intellectual properties is very diverse and very vast. I'm excited to see historically immersive franchises, Assassin's Creed, in a 3D space. I'm excited to see, the wacky, crazy rabbits characters just mess up the place. I'm excited to go to a massive dance party from Just Dance. I'm excited to partner up with my best friends and go on a stealth mission based on a Tom Clancy universe. So really all of them, we're considering all of them to create an experience that is satisfying on different levels and appeals to a wide diversity of demographics, and really is a complete experience, and feels just like a great day at a park.
I love that. A massive dance party, Just Dance. That is where I will be.
That would be fun.
That is where I will be.
That would be fun.
This has been so wonderful. Thank you so much, Mathilde. I think this is such an interesting moment in time as our lives become even more blended with the digital and the physical. So I appreciate your time. Thank you for sharing with us.
Of course. Thank you for having me.